All right, how you doing out there? This is Captain Jack, and oh my goodness, I am so happy to see where it says road input because that means,
All right, how you doing
whoop,
out there?
whoop,
This
whoop,
is Captain
whoa,
Jack,
whoa,
and
whoa,
I
whoa, whoa.
see, and I
Definitely
was,
don't
oh
want to
my
have
goodness,
that.
I am,
Definitely don't want to see. You don't want to have a double burst of sound. Occasionally I get that, and I catch it at the right time. So apologies there. The good thing is that I know that the sound is working because I actually heard myself on the promo. So hopefully we got that squared away and we're good to go. I see the camera. I see the live portion. Um, it is streaming, which is good. So I'm feeling good about that. And it's always better. It's always better to know. My goodness, is it still on? I hope I'm still on. I'm hoping I'm still on. If you're here, give me a shout, okay? Because I want to make sure. I see that Clinton Lawrence is in. He's got the gold medal. I see that it is streaming, so I know that I'm putting out the sound. There you go. Sheila Howes is there. Kendall Hansen. Okay. Clinton Lawrence, thank you for telling me. I got a little worried there because I didn't see any. Can't hear you. Oh, okay, Tito. Okay, Tito. I am on. And welcome. Special shout out to my favorite Glamazon, Miss Sheila Howes Jones. I tell you, I am tickled to have finally, and this is a little bit personal, but this young lady who's been a fan of the Texans that I've known through Facebook for a couple years, and I never got a chance to meet her until this past weekend, and it was so nice. It was so nice to do that. So again, I appreciated the fact that she and her husband shared a bit of their anniversary weekend with me. Yes, they went to the game, but they shared some of their time with me, and that just made me feel just so warm inside. So thank you, Miss Sheila. Lots of love and Captain's awesomeness of passion to you. This is a very important weekend in football, as I was alluding to earlier. Oh, by the way, I gotta do my I need to post this. Oh, as I was alluding to earlier, not only are the Raiders down their starting all-pro center, but they're also down their capable backup, the rookie James, who had a hellacious game in a good way this past weekend against the Titans, or sorry, the Texans. And I don't know what the injury report is for him. All I know is that it appears that Richie Incognito is going to be playing center. So that's a scary thought. By the way, for Sheila, I'm sure that she's keeping an eye on this as well. 2 outs, bottom of the 5th, Houston winning 2-0 against Matt Scherzer and the Nationals. Yes, this is the You Don't Know Jack About Sports show, because we're not just talking football. We are talking any sport that we want to talk about. And when we talk all sports, it's a You Don't Know Jack About Sports show. Too many fires in California. Wow. And again, thank you for reminding me to push that, Johnny Jimenez. My best to everybody out in California that is and will be fighting the normal time of year where there's a tremendous amount of forest fires out there. And not just forest fires, just wildfires to boot. I will be out there this weekend. I will be leaving tomorrow. And so again, please keep in mind the firefighters and obviously the first responders and all of the folks that are combating the flames out in California and all of the Pacific, California. I'm sure that they have some. I'm sure that they usually have some in Arizona as well, Nevada as it goes. But again, with the winds out there, my God, the winds are just taking over. So, Sheila, you better be doing your homework. I appreciate you watching me. I appreciate you keeping an eye on the game. She's multitasking. That's what I love about this lady. She's a multitasker, and I bet you she's doing everything well. Okay, so it is now the end of the fifth. Astros are winning 2-0 against Scherzer and the Nats. But I'm more worried about this weekend for football. Before I go there, and again, I hate jumping back and forth, but I need to say it before I forget. If you're in Oakland this weekend, Javier, I know this is what I've seen on one of the boards. Danny told me to do my homework too. Yes. So listen to your hubby and listen to the old pirate. Do your homework. Thank you for checking in. And you can do what you can do. Just, do your homework is first priority. And for you, the Astros watching is second priority. And then keeping an eye on me, because it's you and because you're in Houston, homework, Astros, Captain Jack. Any other time, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to bump myself up priority-wise. Getting back to what Javier said, yes, I saw this on one of my sources. Are we going to play in Oakland with all the fires out there? That's also a good question there, Brian. Last year, around this time when I was out there, they had the same issue. And the fires were of such a close proximity, they were thinking about moving the game. Now, I haven't seen anything in the press as of yet. Now, I know that Napa is going through some fires, and there's some others that are over there in NorCal. In fact, what I'd like to know is how far away the fires are. Now, I know that last year, I could smell it in the air. I could really smell the fires in the air. They were close. Now, according to Ed Winchell, and thank you for that, for my on the spot reporter, hour or so north of Oakland, he does not expect, nor do I, as of right now, do not anticipate a change of venue for this Sunday's game against the Lions. Santa Rosa, which is the former home of the Raiders for preseason and camp, 75 miles away. And Javier says about an hour drive. So again, for those that are wondering, the sourcing that I have with folks that are out there that know is, as of right now, there is no indications of a change in venue for the game this Sunday. Now, I'm also hoping, can you all move the game to the Alamo? I'd love that. But probably ain't going to happen, honey. I'm sorry. Okay, we might not have electricity. I know PG&E is having their issues. And Javier, again, says 40% contained. That's not a lot. That means that there is an awful lot of things to go. You're a pistol, Ed. You're a pistol. In case you haven't seen it, Ed said the current pickup line in California is, "Hey, baby, I have electricity." So, yeah, you go, boy. But should be a good game. Now, again, I'm worried about the injuries to Hudson. I wouldn't have been worried as much if James was allegedly not injured. Now, this is the information that I'm getting, and let me see if I can go over here. I'll go over to Raiders.com if I can find it. I'll see if I can get the injury report and put a little bit more of a spin, or at least on that, of what's going on. Now, I do know that the Raiders picked up a couple people. If you haven't heard, Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, is back. He takes over for James, or not James. What's his name? I can't remember his name. One of the younger linebackers that we picked up who got placed on the IR. In fact, let's see if I can go over, get you guys the latest on the transactions. But let's see this here. Want to make sure I'm giving the correct scoop. Okay. Will Compton, a linebacker, was signed, as was a center. There you go. Center Eric Magnuson and defensive tackle Terrell McLean. Dakota Allen was waived. We released defensive end Kasim Edebale, who we picked up just recently as a rush end, and we got rid of Corey Legit. And I tell you what, Corey Legit, he was legit a mid, but not this year. I don't know what happened to him since he left the Chargers, okay? But, Justin Phillips, there you go. That was the linebacker we waived. Make sure that Brandon Marshall was there. Again, Eric Magnuson, was picked up as a center. I believe that it was shown that, in fact, there's a story on Raiders.com about the possibility of Richie Incognito playing center. So, my goodness, I hope it doesn't come down to that. I mean, I'm hoping that James is there. And, okay, in fact, it's the first page on Raiders.com talking about the kid we signed, Eric Magnuson, the center. You might want to read that as well. But I tell you what, God help us. God help us if Richie Incognito has, because you're taking one of your strengths. You're taking one of your strengths and you're making it a weakness. Okay, yeah. Your dog said. There you go. Dakota says it. We love you, Sheila. We love you, but do your homework. Justin Phillips, yeah, there you go. And Corey Legit had health issues. I'm guessing because he hasn't really been playing up to snuff. Please welcome my wife Darnell. All right. She was an Eagles fan. I turned to the dark side. Her first jersey is Matusak. Kendall, I am more than happy to welcome your wife Darnell to Raider Nation. Remember, I lived in Philly as a kid, so I know what it's like to be amongst. I was never an Eagles. I'm saying this correctly. I was never an Eagles fan, but I lived in Philly. So all my other sports teams, hockey and baseball, are Philadelphia teams. So welcome, Darnell Hanson, to Raider Nation, and your first jersey is Matusak. You can't beat that. There you go. That's for you, and this is special. Yeah, Darnell, welcome to Raider Nation from the captain. Well, there you go. The injury concern, and I didn't get a chance to I didn't see it. I was looking actually for the injury report. and I didn't see it on the site. But we better hope that James isn't injured, because remember, this kid, we just picked up this kid. He doesn't even know the playbook or the calls or all the things that are going there. So remember, it's important to know these things. Now, a couple other things that I wanted to talk about is everybody was bitching about our secondary and what was going to be happening, okay? I want you to know that Trayvon Mullen, in his first start as a Raider, allowed just 2 receptions. 2. That's not bad. When it's your first start and you're a rookie and you're expected to be thrown into the fire and do a really, really good turn for your team. So, hooray for him. Houston teams are the Texans, the Astros, the Rockets. My hockey team is the Blackhawks. Sheila and I was talking about our hockey teams, but she seems to have Houston and pretty much everything else. Sheila, are you from Chicago too? Because I am. I was born there. A quick look at the scoreboard, bottom 6. Houston still up 2-0. That's good to know. That's really good to know. Now, who is coming out this weekend for the game? Because I know that there is a charity event on Friday. I'll be there. Oh, you grew up? Okay, well, you'll have to tell me why you're a Blackhawks fan. That's unique. Growing up in Waco, born in Houston, and you're a Blackhawks fan. That's unique. You'll have to call in and by the way, because stupid me, I didn't put it on yet. Let's do this. Remember, all of these shows are brought to you by KARATBARS. Invest in gold. Invest in yourself. Go to the website that I have linked down there, www.karatbars.com/?S=J Levy. If you are afraid of what's going on in the world market and you want to hedge to your benefit, gold has always historically been on the up. Invest in yourself by investing in gold with KARATBARS. Let me show you how. Go to the website, sign up, and we'll get you all squared away. I mean, I used to have, in fact, I need to find where the hell I put my gold. I had the gold shipment here, and it's somewhere here in the house. But KARATBARS, good thing for you to have. I was babbling. About the game. Charity event on Friday, which will be the Blitnikoff event. I will be there at the Blitnikoff event. That's why I'm flying out tomorrow. Oh, okay. I got a Gordie. No. I do have a Gordie Howe jersey. I got a Bobby Hull jersey. If I come out to Houston again, remind me to bring my Bobby Hull jersey so we can take pictures. So at least I'll be, show something to show my appreciation there. I love Bobby Hull, and I liked Gordie Howe, because they're the old time, man. I tell you, you couldn't get better than good old time hockey. Shout out, Cam. Just found out your videos on sports. Thank you. I was sitting next to you in Houston with my wife. My wife wanted to take a picture with you next time. Man, let's go. Hey, thank you there, Lil V13. Thank you for coming aboard. I remember sitting next. I hope I wasn't too much. And And, I enjoyed our time together. I stayed away a little bit because at the time when we were doing well, I was out in the concourse getting my Coke and lemonade mixed. And by the way, if you like, I like cherry Coke, but you know what? Lemonade and Coke, lemon Coke, awesome. That's what I drink. If I'm not drinking Arnold Palmer's, which obviously is lemonade and iced tea, but lemon Cokes is way to go out as well. So thanks for coming aboard there, Lil V13. Thank you. Sitting next to me. Thank you for coming aboard. Thanks for subscribing as well. And let's talk. We are talking sports. Again, the Raiders have a big upcoming weekend against the Lions. The Lions are getting healthy while the Raiders' offensive line is going through some trials and tribulations right now. But if you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Line is open, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. I am turning, I'm refreshing the screen to make sure that the phone is working, because apparently we have had some problems with that, and I don't want to have problems with that as well. We do have there we go. The volume is up for that, so we shouldn't have an issue. Getting back to the game, not only do the Raiders have a very important game this weekend, because the Lions are 3-1, and they're not out of it in the NFC North. Because, again, very tight division. The Lions need to stay ahead of the Bears, who we've already beaten, that great game in London. But we've already lost to the other two teams, and quite handily. Going up to Green Bay and going up to Minnesota were not really good road trips for us. So the last of the NFC North teams, the Lions, who have looked good. Most of the games that they've played this year, I believe that all of their losses, I want to say, have been 6 points or less. I know that they've been hanging around in all of their games. It's not going to be a walkover. It will be a hard-fought contest. But the way the Raiders have been playing and getting better the last 2 weeks, even though they lost to Green Bay, their offense was on point, but their defense wasn't there. Again, this past week, the offense was definitely there. Defense couldn't quite finish the game. So hopefully they'll get it together this weekend. Also on Saturday, because I talked about the charity event that the Blitnikovs have, I will be there. Saturday is Raider Fan Convention over in Oakland. I will be there as well, all dressed out, decked up. So make sure if you're anywhere near the Bay Area this weekend, come out for Raider Fan Convention. Going to be a fantastic time. Look it up on Facebook. Go to Mike Summers' page. I know it'll be somewhere there. Also, there is a Raider Fan Convention page on Instagram and on Facebook. So go find out all the details. I know I will need to do that because I'm not really sure where it's going to be at, but I know I'm going. So wherever it is, it's in the Bay Area, it's in Oakland area, I will be there for Raider Fan Convention on Saturday. I will be taking peeks, obviously, at the world's largest cocktail party. And that is when my Florida Gators take on the University of Georgia Bulldogs in what will probably decide who wins the SEC East. So that is very important there as well. Let me turn my phone up a bit lower. Thought I had this off already. Such is life. So again, it will be good to make sure that I know what's going on. Oh. Talking about the Raiders game and against the Lions. Do some of this here. There we go, volume. There we go. Now I don't have to worry about all the notifications being too much. Okay, so I have this for information. Yeah, Kendall is correct in the fact that Detroit does not have a running game. Okay, that's true. But They have one of the better passers in the NFL with Matthew Stafford, who's looked really good this year overall. They have a good set of receivers. Why is this moving? God, this is... Put it up here. There we go. So if the Raiders' running attack is on point, that's great. But remember, now you're starting to talk who's going to be our center against a coming to be healthy defensive front four for Detroit. That kind of scares me a bit. In fact, let's see here when they're showing the side-by-side comparisons. Yes, Stafford is thrown for like almost 2,100 yards with 16 touchdowns and the same 4 interceptions that Carr has. Kerryon Johnson is their number one running back, but he's hurt. So without Kerryon Johnson, who was their best running back, who is hurt, we don't have to worry about him. And, you know, Josh Jacobs is leading amongst all the rookies going out. You know, he's a very good chance. I'm not going to jinx anything. I'm not going to jinx it. Not going to jinx it. Very good chance of, you know what I'm about ready to say. Kenny Golladay, as was just on the screen, 31 receptions for about 510 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he is a presence out there. Here we go. Thank God. Injury report for the Raiders as of today. In fact, let me push full injury report. I guess that I don't want that. I just want the Raiders. The Raiders, Harris, who is our kick return specialist, he's questionable. As is Whitehead. As is, here we go, Andre James. Questionable. Jacobs is questionable, and Tyrell Williams is questionable. Add to that Rodney Hudson, who is out. Okay, for the Lions, Mike Daniels, who is coming back. Actually, he is one of their starting defensive tackles. He is questionable. Did somebody just hit a home run? Oh, crap. Rendon just hit a home run. I saw the ball leave. I don't know if it's a single shot or not. I will see in just a minute. Yep, it's a single shot. Top of the 7th, Houston up 2-1. Anthony Rendon with a home run. Amani Oruwariye God, I'm trying. The cornerback is questionable. Their center is also questionable, as is Walker, their safety, and Darius Slay, they're one of their best cornerbacks in the league. He's also questionable. So it is going to come down to if the Raiders can run and continue their offensive juggernaut, they'll be okay. It's a matter of keeping Matthew Stafford and his receivers in check. No, Brian, I can't tell you that, man. I'm definitely pulling for the Astros. But if you want to talk, that's up to you. Hopefully we can do some talking. Line is open, 813-699-0834. As stated, I'm going to be busy this weekend. Can't wait to see everybody. Come on out. I also know that 4Dub is doing a video both at Raider Fan Convention, or I should say they will be filming for upcoming videos with 4Dub, the Raider Nation rap group duo with occasional plus ones. Good to see Mr. Greenleaf. Good to see Aaron Chambers. So I'll be out there for that. Run it down their throats. Only 58 points after halftime. There you go. Don is there. We definitely need to continue to run the ball. Definitely need to continue to run. He didn't just hit a home run, did he? Oh, thank God. I saw Soto and I saw him licking his lips, and I was hoping I didn't see something bad. Our defense needs to hold together in the fourth quarter. We lost the last 2 games because of that. That's true. If we have even a mediocre, better, well, let's say better than average defense, with what we got going on, this team could possibly challenge for a wild card spot. And we need to do that. Matt, you're late. That's okay. We had just have an average pass season. There we go. We would have a winning record. There, Matt came in right at the right times. I was talking about a medium defense. And as long as we have that, we're good to go. Pitching change, 1 out. Greinke is out for the Astros. 1 on, 1 out. And we'll come back after this. But hopefully, the Astros don't blow it. Good comment there, Matt, and I agree. But I think that we're going to be okay and getting better with our defensive secondary because, again, Isaiah Johnson will be back on Thursday. He will be put into action as one of the corners. Keyshawn Nixon will be getting more playing time. Worley, I think, is going to be, I don't want to say he's going to be phased out, but I think his playing time is going to drop precipitously. The more that Johnson comes in, the more that Keyshawn Nixon comes in. So Worley is going to be, in my estimation, going to be phased into more of the tweener that LaMarcus Joyner was supposed to be. You know, a slot corner, extra safety. So we'll see what's going on there. But honestly, LaMarcus Joyner has not really thrown me this year with what I've seen out of him so far. It's not all his fault, but I expected more, especially when he was such a large signing for the Raiders. Line is still open, 813-699-0834. What do you have on tap this weekend? Again, I'm going to be busy in Oakland with the charity event on Friday, Raider Fan Convention on Saturday, also the game on Sunday. Stephen, we really love your Raider gear. Had a blast. Hey, thanks, Guadalupe. I appreciate that, sir. Your groom is going to look great once it is. Yes, it will, Don. I can't wait. In fact, I was on a little bit later than normal because I had to take all of the housing and the you know, I was setting it out from the video from today. I had to take it off the board and put it into my room here so the weather wouldn't affect it. When I left for work today, the interior designer actually, she did like the drawings of where everything was so we can put it back on the board once it gets cut with the cutouts and when it gets painted and stuff like that. Oh my God, did they just have oh my, I thought I saw another home run. Oh, thank goodness. Woo! Don't do that to me. Will Harris is back up for the Astros. When the room does get done, obviously I'll be shooting video of that. Captain will be going to, knock wood, the rest of the games this year minus the Titans game. If you're interested in Titans tickets, 2 club tickets, come see me. Send me an IM. They are club seats. And that is a 2-run home run. A 2-run home run by Howie Kendrick, putting Washington up 3-2. My God. Oh my God. Kendrick, who was the impetus for that win against the Dodgers with the what inning was it? Was it the 11th inning with the grand slam? Wow. Am I going to be in D-Lot before the game? Got a really good friend from Virginia coming to the game. It's his first time in Oakland. I'm going to be going around everywhere, Kendall. I know I will be in B-Lot to do some shooting for the video. And I'll be making my way around the stadium. So I usually go the B and D. I know I hang out in B-Lot, and then I also go across the stadium to the other side. I will try to get over everywhere I can. I walk, good exercise, get a little bit of food if offered, and drink. So I will be everywhere. So just look for me. Yep, I agree, Don. I wouldn't have taken Greinke out either. And there's the single. So as it is, no, I won't say it. I'm pissed. I'm pissed. Harris, who is probably one of the better relievers for the Astros, gives up a dong. Can't do that. Let's talk about it. Line is still open, 813-699-0834. Line is open. Somebody got to call me, man. I'll talk. But I'd much rather listen to y'all and we'll talk. We've been here for about 43 minutes. And again, I don't mind hanging out, but I'd much rather y'all talk to me. What is this? Is this a movie? Oh, wow. In the 1996 Atlanta bombing. What is this? Looks interesting. Got a really good cast. Sam Rockwell and John Hamm. About the bombing. Oh, Richard Jewell. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to go see that. Hoping the rookies improve the secondary. Yeah, I believe they will. I agree with you there, Matt. Altuve left 6 guys on base to get. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah, Richard Jewell movie. Wow. That looks. I love. I'm a history guy. I'm a history major. That's what I got my my degree in. I am an analyst, so being an analyst, it behooves you to know the history of the area that you're studying. So I've always been a history guy. Always will be a history guy. That's why I love my sports, because it's historical. Know what your facts are. Know what the sports world has come from. Know the older generation so that you can appreciate them because of all the jacked up stuff that's going on right now. And it is jacked up. Football is not what football used to be. And I'm not saying it because of the old, well, you know how your grandfather said, well, you young kids don't know anything today. I used to walk uphill both ways in the driving snow, and then in walking home, the heat was 180 degrees in the shade, and yada, yada, yada. And, but to a point, though, and there are folks that are a little older that do know the historical significance of what's going on in football. People were talking about how we were talking about these hitters and even like all of these penalties that are going out on the football players today. And, that they were saying, well, remember, what would Jack Tatum be doing? Well, Jack Tatum would not be playing in today's NFL, nor would George Atkinson, nor would Steve Atwater, nor would Ronnie Lott, nor would John Lynch. The heavy hitters that were just maniacal would not be in today's game. And that's a shame. Because I call it the wussification of football. How they try to make everything so diluted with, these hits that aren't hits and the overprotectiveness of the quarterback. Like the old expression, next thing you know, the quarterback's going to be wearing a skirt. It's actually pretty much come down to it. But it depends on who the quarterback is. Because there are your favorites, TB12 of New England, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees. All of the favorites get calls. They're coddled. They're overprotected. How many times has Derek Carr been hit that what it should have been a penalty? Linval Joseph, when they played the Vikings, hits him up in the chops and the neck with no penalty called. And it's happened a couple times where there should have been a penalty on the defense for roughing the passer, and it didn't happen. But if Tom Brady gets breathed on wrong, there's a penalty, personal foul on the defense. And look at the crock of fecal matter that they had on Max Crosby again. This is the second roughing the passer call on Max Crosby. That's bullshit. Vince, good to see you as well. Thanks for coming aboard. Always good to hear from Vince. Make sure you check out Vince Whitetail. That's Vita Productions. And always a good time. How about Jay's last game? Drilled him under the chin, helmet to helmet. Yep, didn't call. NFL doesn't want their stars getting hurt, and you're right, Carr never get correct. Because there are marquee quarterbacks that are overprotected while the rest of the league, if they have no market value, if they're not the gleaming elite, you can hit them almost at will. Cam Newton was bitching about it for years as well. By the way, does the phone not work? I haven't heard a call yet, so I'm hoping that it's not just me. And yeah, it is for ratings. The quarterbacks that are of value. And by the way, thank you for being here. Again, I appreciate you watching the show. I appreciate you sharing up the show. I appreciate getting the word out. We are up to, I think it was 425, maybe more. I think maybe it's 426 now. I'm going to give you a quick update. Wow, 428. We're up to 428 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and ringing the bell and watching with us. And contributing, viewing, love it. Get the word out because, again, I have a lot of hits after the shows, after the games, and I'd like to continue that with the shows as well. Gave up 25 first downs from penalty on defense and offense. You only gained 4 from penalty. Wow, Matt, that's unique. Breeze lifts his shoes and chin up, then it's 15-yard time to sore throat. True. Imagine Alzado ripping the helmet of a Philadelphia player and then proceeding to throw it at him. Actually, it was a Jet, but I knew where you were going with that. And thank you. We're going to hear from Ed Winchell. How you doing there, Ed? What's going on?
Is your phone working all right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, well, good. Then we know that the phone does, in fact, work.
I just made a comment about giving the younger audience an idea of what some of football used to be when one of the Raider greats, Lyle Alzado, ripped a helmet off of one of the Philadelphia players and then proceeded to throw it at him.
I remember the game. I think it was the Jets though. I think it was a Jet.
No, it's Philadelphia, and there was no rule. So all they can call back then, believe it or not, there was no rule about ripping a helmet off of another player's head and throwing at him. So they had to throw him a 15 yards for personal conduct or something like that.
Right.
I mean, that wasn't even a rule that you couldn't take the helmet off and throw it at the guy.
See, Don Webb agrees with me. He said it was the Jets too.
Alzado with the Jets did it too?
No. Alzado against the guy on the Jets.
No, I thought it was Philadelphia, but it might be the Jets.
Well,
I'm just trying to make the point.
My
point is
it was against the people that were wearing green. So you were there. You at least remember they were wearing green.
Yes. But imagine there was no rule for that particular penalty, I guess. So
yeah.
They called it unsportsmanlike conduct or something, which is totally ridiculous.
Right.
Go listen to that for a minute,
Yeah, and like I said, even when he did that, and good catch there, Matt, it's now called the Alzado rule.
The Alzado rule.
Yeah.
That's right, because there was no rule before that. So, it's a shame that, football fans these days can only watch it in replays from 30 years ago, because it was so much more interesting to wake up and catch back then you didn't have satellite, so we got a morning game and an afternoon game and the Monday Night Football game, and that was it. 3 games a week.
Yeah.
And that was all there was, and it was just so much more entertaining back then that I really feel, this is just myself, that they've taken a lot of the backbone of football and what it was supposed to be, and they've made it into a sissy game. And it's a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ed. And like I said, I actually, instead of calling it the wussification, I normally put a P instead of a W. But I'm trying to be nice for the audience here. But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Right. It's taking the game, and the reason why is because of the money. And they want to make sure that they continue to grow a product for more people around the world without having to put out a lot of money on what possible medical issues these guys would have with CTE and other things. So it's all about the money. Grow the money up and have less of it coming out in possible legal action.
You're 100% right, Cap.
And
one of your viewers were mentioning Jack Tatum. Now let's put Jack Tatum aside for a minute and think. Nowadays, a player, if he wears a knee pad above the knee, he gets fined 40, 50 grand. If you wear a wristwatch on you get fined 200,000, 250. But back in the days with Jack Tatum, he was known. Any Raider fan back there knows Jack Tatum, Stickum. He had Stickum from head to toe, and they didn't do anything about it. They let him play.
Well, Tatum didn't necessarily have a lot of Stickum. Lester Hayes did.
Lester Hayes, I'm thinking. That's right. Lester Hayes.
Lester Hayes did, right. but Tatum, in as long as you're also going there as well, Tatum did have a lot of extra padding on, as did George Atkinson, and they used the padding because they would club the players across the middle. And by the way, the Raiders would also have the not paper mache, but they would take the plaster casts and they would fill the casts before the game because the referee would make sure they would come in and check all your padding. But
Right.
but by the time that they would have the things go, the cast would be hard as concrete. So it would be like you would club somebody and you would have that as a weapon. And that's what Atkinson and Tatum, mostly George. Actually, George was a dirtier player than Jack ever was.
George was a dirty one.
Yeah,
and
George
the irony
was dirty.
is everybody knew that, and they let it go.
Yeah.
Today, look what happened with Brady and deflating the football. I mean, the football scenario these days, you can't compare it. It's like I hate to do generational comparing about the GOAT. You can't do it. I don't believe there's one GOAT. You can talk a GOAT in a generation, but not as a whole. And I just think you can't compare football in the 2000s or even the 90s when the real transition went over to flag football, if you will, to now. It's just two different games.
It is.
We're just playing on the same 100-yard field.
Right. And I think that there should be by the decade. Because there a 10-year period is a transitional period in football. There should be a greatest quarterback of X decade. And that's the way it should be. Because there's been so much change in the game with the rules and the offensive numbers going up and the defensive, portion going down as far as how to defend the offenses. You should look at it in that respect. You're looking at it across a decade where people are more evenly matched. You can say, well, in this decade, this player was the greatest quarterback of that decade. You can't tell me that I don't give a flying F how many rings Tom Brady, and I said his name, I'm going to throw up a little bit in my mouth, but how many rings Tom Brady has. He is not a better quarterback than Johnny Unitas, Terry Bradshaw, and this one's going to make me really throw up, Dan Marino. Okay? Saying that name just makes me vomit. But Tom Brady is a better quarterback than Dan Marino? No. Dan Marino was a fantastic quarterback who never had a Super Bowl win. But Tom Brady has 6, so they call him the GOAT? No. You go across the time, and then again, even I and Ed, you're a little bit older than me, but what about Y.A. Tittle? What about Otto Graham?
Right.
What about those guys? They were fantastic in their time.
That's right, and they were the best on the field during their time.
That's right.
And it's fun because back in the 70s, and I won't keep harping about that, we had Stabler. We had Bradshaw, you had Staubach. I mean, you had, I think it's a little early for Elway, but you had those type of quarterbacks that could burn it every Sunday afternoon.
And what about...
And it was fun to watch.
Right, and what about Fran Tarkenton? As small as he was, the guy went to 3 Super Bowls for the Vikings. Everybody thinks he went to 4, but Joe Kapp was actually the quarterback for the first time the Vikings lost the Super Bowl. But Fran Tarkenton went to 3 Super Bowls with the Vikings, lost all 3, unfortunately. But that son of a bitch could run around, and I mean, he was a scrambler, not like the running quarterbacks of today, but he was a scrambler to get yourself out of trouble and would throw the ball downfield and complete those really just wonderful passes.
See, people don't realize, believe it or not, that Tarkenton, Namath, there were no Super Bowls.
Right.
Then there were no Super Bowls. And it was because I believe Tarkenton beat the Rams in 1 Super Bowl, and they were both NFC teams. And that was a championship game until, Davis came in with the AFC, and that all started with Al. But way back then, there were just championship games until they started. What year was the first Super Bowl? Do you remember?
What year was
68?
67, I believe.
67.
Yeah.
There you go. So, it's incredible. I wish that they had more film on instead of playing games from, last week on NFL Today or whatever, they should play games from the 70s. I think there would be so much fun for people to actually see what it used to be, how much fun it used to be.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to call up and check to see if your phone's working.
It is, because you got the call, brother.
That's good to hear. I'm always there, boss. I'm always there. Yeah, like I said earlier before I go, the only thing that's going to stop you, and PG&E don't know what they're doing tomorrow. It's like one of your readers said he thinks he's losing power tonight. Imagine living your life when you don't know if you're going to have enough power in your house to use the alarm clock to wake up for work.
That's why. That's
I know
why
people have cell phones. And
Yeah.
I'm aging myself.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what really works? The old wind-up friggin' alarm clocks, because you know what? You don't need power for them, other than twisting that little thing, and you got to get them. You got to get them. Get yourself an old alarm clock, folks. If you don't want to get back to the Stone Age, but you'll never miss an alarm unless you're stupid enough to hit the thing and push down when you shouldn't have done it in the first place. You won't ever sleep past your wake up ever again. And hey, Ed, thanks again for calling in, partner.
My pleasure. Good chatting with you guys, and we'll see you this weekend maybe.
All right, hopefully we'll there, Ed. You take care.
Okay, buddy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
That's Ed Winchell. Always good hearing from him. And you are correct, Matt. Tarkenton never won a Super Bowl. Ed was probably thinking about won a conference. Yeah, probably conference championships. That's what he meant. I know Ed. He didn't mean he meant out conference championships. But yeah, you're correct. Tarkenton never won a Super Bowl, and he was in 3. Line is open, 813-699-0834. Oh, yeah, Matt, definitely Phil. Phil Villapiano is wow. What can I say? If you guys have not had the pleasure of, and I'm sure you've probably seen it on the NFL Network, where if Phil Villapiano is on, drop whatever you're doing and watch. Because that is some entertaining shit. That is some entertaining shit, watching Phil Villapiano. And I think the best story that Phil has ever told, and I hope I don't screw it up, but Al Davis went up to Phil Villapiano and said, "Hey Phil, I got a question for you. What is your opinion of Bob Chandler, the wide receiver for the Bills?" And Phil Villapiano was telling Al, "Oh wow, Al, my goodness, the guy is great. He's a great route runner. He's slippery. He's not extremely fast, but the fact is he always gets open. He's elusive. He has deceptive speed. He would be a fantastic addition for the Raiders." And Al said to him, you know, "I'm glad you said that, Phil, because we just traded for him." He's like, "Great." He said, "Yeah, we traded you for him." And that's how Phil Villapiano found out that he was going to the Bills, being traded for Bob Chandler. But, Al asked him. Al asked Phil Villapiano about Bob Chandler, got the words he wanted to hear, and in a roundabout way was saying, "Hey Phil, it's been real, it's been fun, and thank you for your contribution to the Raiders." Great story. And Phil says it better than I, but that's the gist of it. And yes, Fu is awesome. Line is open, 813-699-0834. We've been on, let me see here. Wow, we've been on for an hour and 5. But if you guys are non-talkative tonight, that's fine. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that I did my due diligence. And we had a show. How long of a leash am I giving Paul Gunther? Wow. You're correct in both of that, Matt. His scheme is vanilla. That is true. But it's also true he does not have the personnel that he had in Cincinnati when that same scheme was a top 5 defense. I would say not all the time, but it was a top 5 average defense while he was there. He needs to have the pass rush, which he doesn't have here yet. Oh, yeah, I know, Brian, but again, I'm not doing a show tomorrow because I'm going to be traveling, so that's why I did it a day early. So in case you guys are looking for me tomorrow, I will be flying out to Oakland, so I'm not going to have the show tomorrow. And yeah, Game 7 is taking a lot of the viewers. I get that. That's fine. But I wanted to make sure that I did my due diligence in having a show. And they wouldn't say, well, hey, Captain didn't have a show. No, I did. And when I get done with this, and we're gonna wrap it up at 11 o'clock. Because I want to make sure that everybody, if you are a Raider fan, you will be heading over to the Raider Bear page at that'll be 8 o'clock Pacific to make sure you're ready to go for Raider Bear. And he will be on pretty much like on or about 8-ish, maybe not quite on the tick, but close enough to it. But we'll have that going for us. Always great to have some input with Raider Bear. Raider Bear is probably not going to be talking any baseball. For your best information, that if it wasn't covered by me, the injury report and who we picked up and for whom, obviously, you want to have the best historical knowledge. You're going to come here only because I'm old and I know a lot of shit. And Houston Steve, who is also a harbinger of the great historical fact, knows his stuff as well. We are harping on cable until, we were harping on cable. That's true. You're right, Matt. And it's when that rushing game kept going and things were going. But Tom Cable had done crap. But now they are doing some good things, right? And so the we don't harp on cable. You're absolutely correct. Thank you there, Kendall, for that. And having said that, there is my outro music. So hopefully you'll get a chance to hang out with me this weekend. I will be, like I said, I will be out there for the Blitnikoff event on Friday. I will be at Raider Fan Convention on Saturday. Look up Raider Fan Convention. And then, of course, Sunday at the game, I will be out a couple different places. And hopefully shooting some videos where 4Dub will be hopefully putting us all in their videos. You'll see the old bastard out there. It's always fun. I'm going to pack it up, watch the end of the game, get the rest of my stuff packed up for my trip. It's mostly the closer packed. I just need to pack up my gear, and we'll be doing that in a little bit. Make sure you're here on Sunday after the game. I will be doing my shows as I always do. Ask Captain Jack post-game show. Get used to it now. Thank you for coming in. If you know of any Raider fans, definitely Raider fans, even football fans, show them where we are over here and get some folks over here. It's always a pleasure to talk sports, especially Raider football, with all the people here. Thank you for coming out again. Great seeing you. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Come on out to Raider Fan Convention if you can and see the captain. We'll see you Sunday post-game. Yarg! Take care.